Hey, it's Webs here with a new Mercenary PvP build video, this time centered around Lorewalker Cho and his ability to protect our minions that we actually summon. The basic idea behind this build is to use Lorewalker Cho to protect the totem off of Baine, so we can actually protect Elise even easier, so we can actually get the golden monkey, and then finish off our opponent with a big N'Zoth AoE, or through the other ads that we can actually summon through N'Zoth or Cho, where they can actually snowball pretty quickly, especially the Mugu. Generally speaking, in most matchups, you're going to be putting down Baine first, followed by Elise, so you can actually have them around the totem so you can protect them. And then you are going to be using Baine's first ability, the Root, on Elise, and then using Cho's Patience ability to buff up all your other mercenaries. However, if you're facing Frost, you're going to want to do something a little bit different, where you're going to use Baine, Elise, and Cho still in the exact same order as before, but instead of using Elise's ability that will actually progress the golden monkey, you are going to be using her first ability to actually tag out for Maestra, and then also using Lorewalker Cho's ability to summon a Mugu at the start of the game. This should give you a much better win chance against this type of build, as none of them actually attack, and you should be able to minimize the chances of your Elise dying on the very first turn. For the mercenary by mercenary breakdown, I know my Baine isn't completely leveled up. The Earth Mother's Fury could be 2 levels higher, and you would have a much better time with this build if it was maxed out. But we are using Totemic Mastery, which is the most important thing, completely maxed out here for his equipment. We are going to mainly be using Morgul Might and the Earth Mother's Fury as the abilities you want to use on Baine. However, the Chain Heal does come up a few times just to protect your Cho or your Elise from actually dying in a given turn. For Elise, we are using Monkey's Paw, so we can actually start on step 3 of the Golden Monkey, and mainly are going to be using her Guiding Path and her Quest for the Golden Monkey abilities. The other one comes up in situations where you're facing a team such as Frost, as mentioned before. For Lorewalker Cho, we are using Stash of Scrolls to reduce the damage our minions are actually taking from our opponent. And for his ability, you are mainly going to be swapping between Patience and Knowledge, depending on if you need a additional minion, or if there aren't enough minions that will actually get buffed up by the Patience, then it is always better to use Cho's Knowledge instead. For Maestra, we are using Mask of Mimicry, which will tag out either Baine or Elise depending on the matchup. And for her abilities, you're going to mainly be using Shifting Strike and Dirty Tricks, because this actually does scale with the Golden Monkey, which is pretty cool. For Tyrande, we are using Ban of the Wilds, so we can actually duplicate Baine's third ability, and we are mainly using her for Arcane Salvo and Elun's Grace if Baine is still alive. And finally, for N'Zoth, we are using Eternal Torment, which is always important to actually get off if you do have a Golden Monkey down. Otherwise, you're mainly going to be using Spawn of N'Zoth and Corrupted Viscera. Though if your opponent summons any type of tokens, Gift of N'Zoth can be useful here and there, but I prefer to just focus on using these 2 abilities. With that all being said, let's look at some game. Okay, so looks like they are mainly casters, which actually doesn't matter too much in this build. We're just going to put down our normal 3 mercenaries, let the game automatically do it for us. Okay, so they are a Trigor build with Samuro as a way to trigger Trigor 3 times. We should be quicker than them. Actually, I guess they have 2-4 abilities, so we're not going to actually win the speed tie here. Probably should have actually just attacked with Elise to protect her, but oh well. She isn't technically necessary for us to win this game. Nice thing here is the totem doesn't actually get hit by anything besides the Trigor itself. Here's the useless root here, but oh well. Okay, so next turn we have a heal if we really feel like it. We're gonna hit Trigor there, down a Shifting Strike here. Okay, so we're gonna go for another Shifting Strike, heal, and then use Patience. Actually, no, we're gonna summon a Mugu just because we are using 2 quick abilities on the other 2 mercenaries, and they wouldn't get buffed up at all. This is usually what you want to do on turn 2 anyways when you have this type of start. And they actually moved their Trigor in position for us to use the Shifting Strike, which is great for us. Okay, we're going to hit their Kazakis, which is fine. They kill Maestra, and they also killed Elise. So we're going to put down Baine, and then we're going to put down N'Zoth, trying to protect the Cho as much as humanly possible. Then this is just going to be weirdly done. We're going to try to heal Cho, use Patience, and then summon an additional add while also going for Trigor here. This should actually kill Trigor and give us the add buffed up a little bit more, which is pretty good. We only got 1 tick on the Cho, which sucks, but is what it is. Cool that her totem doesn't actually trigger Trigor at all because it didn't have any attack. Okay, we're going to summon that out. That actually kills Trigor, but we still get the death blow on our Mugu, so we're in a pretty good position. Okay, so Tasman is the next one going down. What do we want to do here? Well, we could scale damage or just attack, or do the Earth Mother's Frenzy. We can use Spawn to get another add. Trying to kill Kazakis here. And since everything is slower, we're going to reorder this so Cho actually buffs up everything instead of buffing up only Baine. Gotta be really careful with doing things out of order here. Okay, they're going to focus down Baine. That's okay, they have a full board so they don't get a golem. Sadly, we don't get the death blow on Kazakis with what we wanted to, but still perfectly fine. Okay, so we have, what, 50, 70 points of damage with N'Zoth's third ability, if we really want to. Gonna try to keep Cho and everything else alive here. Gonna maybe try to summon our add, even though we don't have space. Actually, it might make a lot more sense to use his second ability because it is technically slower than the attack of the Mugu, which means it actually gets 2 attacks and 2 tries at a death blow. Curse of Weakness won't do much to what actually matters here. They try to focus down the Mugu, which doesn't do anything. We buff that up. It's now a 50-30, a 55. Get the death blow here. And then we can just nuke the board next turn if they don't give up. And we can put Tyrande down too. And we should just win here. Okay, time for a game where it's even split. Just gonna put down our 3 normal mercenaries. Okay, so it's Frost. We still have a way to actually win this game. We just gotta focus down local lore while also attacking with Elise, which sounds really weird, but just trust me, it actually works pretty well in this matchup because the totem is most likely dead here. And because it's most likely dead, oh, and we also want to use knowledge instead of patience, but I guess past self didn't want to do that. Or maybe it did. Yeah, go for the Mugu. Just so we have an additional source of damage on the board, while also not only buffing up 1 mercenary here. Actually, technically, we could buff up both Elise and Baine. It's really cool to see that the totem protects them completely here. Except for that 1 damage that is being done. Gonna hit the Varden. Totem dies. Now we're in a really good position to just hit the local lore with our Maestra. And we aren't going to get type advantage here, but that's perfectly fine too. I'm just hoping that the Mugu will actually get the kill on Okalar, which makes our life a lot easier, or it's going to get the kill on the Elemental, which also works. We're going to snowball our Maestra, which is perfectly fine. We're going to put down N'Zoth next. Okay, we're going to try to heal up Baine, attack with Add, and then also swap around the order of Cho and N'Zoth, and our Baine, just because it is a 5-cost ability right now. Varden dies, freezes the Baine, which is perfectly fine. It doesn't really do much here. Hit the Jaina, or spawn, and then we kill Lokalar with the Mugu, and then we can put down Elise next. Then we can use the full heal on her. Well, not the full heal, but the partial heal. And then spawn another spawn, and then focus down the Maestra, or Sinestra. Gotta be careful with the order again. Mugu should actually get the kill, which means it's going to scale even more. And if we can actually get the last mercenary off the board, we just have to worry about the one on the bench, and then we can use N'Zoth's third ability to finish off the game. Or sadly, we won't get the Sinestra this turn. It's always next turn though, because that's a pretty big Mugu there. Okay, we can use that to pop the ice block. Then we should probably swap the N'Zoth gift onto... Oh, I guess we didn't. Probably should have put it on the Mugu instead of the spawn, but oh well. I'm gonna buff up everything here. It's 60 points of damage. Pops the shield. And then it will go into Jaina again. We kill the Sinestra, and then we just win next turn. And we don't have any room for the golden monkey, which is kind of sad, but it's still fine. Okay, so they are mainly protectors, which means our Elise is probably going to be dead in this matchup. It really just depends on what the protectors actually are. Okay, so Yasharaj, Trigor, and Farian, which means she is probably dead, though we do have a way to actually root everything on turn 1, which is pretty good. Though they, in theory, could actually just taunt up if they really feel like here too, I guess. I actually kind of wonder if it's always better to use Knowledge instead of Patience turn 1 just to get a add on the board. Because technically we're only buffing up the Totem and Baine, but that does allow the Totem to survive an additional hit in theory. And then here, Shifting Strike, Totem dies. And then we use Shifting Strike again, Guiding Path, then a Knowledge to get a Mugu up. Okay, so they did get rid of Cho, which is a little bit annoying, and though we do still have the Elise up, which means I think next turn we get a huge N'Zoth play, which is good, and we just win the game if we get that off, actually. And N'Zoth survives. Those are the two conditions, I guess. Sure, we don't get anything in combination this turn with the Golden Monkey, but they don't have any type of AoE to kill the Golden Monkey, so we're still A-okay. There's the Golden Monkey down. We're going to focus down Elise, which is perfectly fine since we already got the monkey out. Let's put down Baine next, and then Tyrande. They all actually scale with the golden monkey. And we actually get even more golden monkey damage because we get an additional totem here.
I'm looking for a few good mercenaries.
Well, I guess it doesn't actually matter what we do because everything should die instantly to N'Zoth. We're going to actually try to heal N'Zoth up a little bit because why not? We have nothing else to do. But they're going to make us wait, I guess. Okay, so time for a game against mainly fighters. We're just going to put down our first 3. Okay, so it's another Elise build with a pirate twist, it looks like. I actually tried out this build with Fedora instead of Elise, but it didn't turn out too well just because the board got a little bit too crowded with the totems and the cannons on board. It's really funny though to be able to protect your cannons like that. It just doesn't work most of the time. Well, we're going to root everything here. In theory, we should have won that speed tie, but it's alright, I guess. We're going to focus down Cho, which is a little bit annoying. I would have preferred him to stay alive. I think he will actually stay alive this turn, but just barely. Okay, so we need to heal. So we'll probably use Baine's second ability. That triggers the Maestra. And so we can't actually use Baine's second ability, hitting the Trigor, killing the Cho. And now, I guess we do put down the Baine again, probably here. I'm going to swap the order of the Baine and the Elise to protect the Elise. Going to use Shifting Betrayal, and then we're going to try to heal the Elise as much as humanly possible, while also healing her with her own ability. And let's see what they actually do here. Okay, so they're going to put a bleed on everything of ours, which is fine. We do have the heal, so that actually prevents it from doing much. They kill our totem, which is probably for the best, to be honest. We're going to kill their cannon, almost kill their Elise. We can use Shifting Strike to kill the Elise next turn, or the Earth Mother's Frenzy, and then Dirty Tricks. This should kill everything on the board, I think, and I hope, at least. They don't actually have the ability to kill our Elise because they don't have Shifting Strike, I don't think. They'll heal, Dirty Tricks, that does a little bit of damage. We'll use Dirty Tricks on theirs. Kills Maestra, which is fine. We nuke everything here, and then we can just finish the game off next turn with a N'Zoth combo. Even if it looks like we're in a really bad position, we're actually in a pretty good one. Because every ad we summon is another additional damage off of the golden monkey. Just going to use Arcane Salvo off of the golden monkey if we can. And then pass it back. We should kill everything here. Or get pretty close to killing everything here with this nuke. Yep, pretty close. And then they'll probably give up. Alright, now that we're through the games, let's discuss my final thoughts of the build overall. This build was actually surprisingly good. The reason why I think it was surprisingly good was because most people don't actually focus down Cho, and this will allow you to win games even if they do kill Elise before you get the golden monkey out, as the fact that the Mugu actually scales incredibly quickly between patience and it getting a death blow on your opponent's mercenaries. You can actually get a really large one, and you can still use it in combination with N'Zoth to just one-shot your entire opponent's board, which is pretty cool. Though the one thing I would say I might want to change with this build is using Tyrande. I don't know what I would actually replace her with, but I thought she would be really cool to use with Baine, as I know a lot of people are finding a lot of success between these two in combination, and I really wanted to try to do that in some type of build, and this was my answer. Honestly, compared to the last build I put out, this is quite an easy recommendation for me to suggest, because it actually has quite a few legs to stand on. Sadly, Failed just doesn't keep up with the current Mercenaries metagame as I wish it would. And like always, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, bye bye.